video, we're focusing on our hips. We're going to do some hip opening. We can do this seated on the ground, and I'm going to show you also a variation to do it in the chair in case you're at your office and want to get a little hip stretch. You can also do this standing in your house, holding onto your kitchen sink. So we're going to start off bringing our left leg forward, our right ankle on our thigh. So we're making the number 4. So a lot of you may know this pose as the number 4 stretch. You can do this seated, you can do this lying on your back, you can do this sitting in a chair. We want to make sure that our ankle is straight. We don't want to splay the ankle. When we do that, we're overstretching ligaments on the outside of the ankle, understretching on the inside of the ankle, not good for our ankle. And because these ligaments are attached, not good for our knee. So keep the ankle straight. If you need to flex your foot a little bit for that to happen, feel free. Bend your left knee, bring your foot and your bum closer to each other, and then lift your chest. So the tendency when people do this is to sometimes collapse. Now if I'm leaning back like this, I'm not going to get much of a stretch. But if I lift my chest up, now my arms are bearing most of the weight. My bum is still on the ground, but my arms are bearing the weight. I'm lifting the chest towards the leg. I haven't changed how far away my left foot is from my bum. It's just this lift that makes it much more intense. If we wanted to make this a little bit more interesting, and quite honestly, it might be interesting enough for you, but if you wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, you could bring your right hand over to the right side. Right knee starts to come down towards the ground. My right cheek is still on the ground. My left cheek is not. Hold on to my left knee with my left hand and lift my chest towards my big toe. Keep breathing. So you could be here, you could have both cheeks on the ground, whatever works better for you. Lift the chest. Good. Come back onto both cheeks. And we're easing from here into double pigeon. So in double pigeon, and some of you may know this as half pigeon, shoelace twist. One of my clients heard it from another teacher as, I don't know what she heard. I don't know what the teacher said. What she heard was, fire ants bearing into my soul. I'm pretty sure that's not what the teacher said, but that's what she heard. We're trying to have the calves stacked directly on top of each other, knee directly on top of the foot, and foot directly on top of the knee. There are a lot of variations to this though. If this is too much for you, you could bring the left foot, the bottom foot, in closer to a half lotus. You could bring the top foot down a little bit lower onto the calf instead of directly above the knee. Be careful with this because the tendency I see a lot of this is that ankle splaying. Again, long term it's not good for the health of your ankle or for your knee, so we don't want to do that. So as long as the ankle stays straight here, you're fine. If these aren't good for you, you could try putting a bolster or a block underneath you, seeing if that makes it easier. And if all of these options still aren't working for you, you could always come into cross-legged and do this from a cross-legged position. Okay, so you've got some options. If you're at your desk, you have another option, which I'll show you after we're done with this. So lift the chest, keep lengthening through the torso, and hinge at the hips. We want to be careful that we're not rounding our backs. We don't want to come down like this. We're not trying to pull our chest down. We're trying to get long and then hinging at the hips. If you're tight, it's going to be helpful to have your hands behind you to push down to help you get the lift of the chest. If you don't need the hands on the ground, they can be by your side, in your lap, or in front of you. Pull your belly button away from your bum. Pull your chest away from your belly button. So you don't necessarily have to come down lower, but getting that length through your torso gives you a deeper stretch. Focus on your breathing, slow and steady. Think about pulling your bum your booty, your tushy. Pull it towards the wall behind you. Pull your chest forward. Keep this length. We're going to add a twist. We're going to be twisting towards our left side. So 3 different versions of this twist. It could go upright, your hand to the outside of your leg or the sole of your foot. Lift as you twist, pinning that right cheek down. Don't let the right hip move. We're twisting with the torso. If you want to go a little bit deeper than this, we can take our elbow to the sole of the foot or the outside of the thigh. Push down on the bottom arm and lift the chest off the thigh. Keep lengthening as you're twisting. Keep pinning your right cheek down. If you want to go a bit deeper still, you could start working on getting the tricep to the sole of the foot or the outside of the thigh, bringing the forearms down towards the ground. Keep lengthening as you twist. Come back to the center, forward fold again. Notice how you can go a little bit deeper after you've added the twist. Keep pulling the sit bones back, the chest pulls forward. It's a deep, deep stretch into that hip, into the bum, into the lower back. Ease yourself back up. So you most likely felt the stretch in the back and outside of the right hip, thigh, bum, and lower back. If we keep the legs in this position but change the direction of our fold, we'll change where the stretch is. So this time we want to focus on drawing the right knee both forward and slightly down while we pull the outer thighs in towards each other. So they're not moving, they're just pulling in that direction. Okay? So right knee pulls forward and down, outer thighs pull in as we start to lean backwards. Now as we're doing this, we're going to start to feel the stretch more in towards the front of the left hip. We can be on our hands. We can come down onto our elbows. You could bring a block underneath your back. Some of you might even be able to come all the way down onto your back, but make sure that you're not overarching in the back. Keep taking this right knee forward, down, outer thighs pull in towards each other. And breathe. Good. Ease yourself back up. And unwind the legs. Give them a little wiggle if they need it. So how do you adapt this pose if you don't have space to sit on the ground? Come up onto your chair. We can do this easily at work. We want to be able to sit with the soles of our feet flat on the ground. So for those of us who are a little bit shorter, move towards the front of your chair. Left leg is straight, left foot is on the ground, right ankle comes up. Ankle stays straight, don't splay. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold. Your hands could be on your desk in front of you so that you're pulling your chest further forward. Try to pull your bum towards the back of the chair. Keep breathing. You could add the twist here, holding onto the sole of the foot. Lift as you twist. So we always want to be careful when we're twisting that we're getting longer and taller. So even if it's twisting, we're not lifting up, straight up towards the sky, we're still lifting up through the crown of the head. Good, come back to the center, forward fold, and you can come down a little bit deeper after the twist. You can also do this standing, holding onto something. So if you have a partner that you trust in this pose, you can hold onto your partner's arms, or you can hold onto the edge of the kitchen sink and just pull back. Okay. Come on back down, let's go on to the other side. right leg comes forward, left ankle onto the thigh. Ankle stays straight, bend the right knee, bring the foot and the bum closer to each other, and lift the chest. So again, most of the weight is being borne by our arms, our bum is on the ground, but that's not what's supporting us, it's the arms that are supporting us. Keep breathing. If you want to make this a little bit more interesting, you would bring your left hand over to the side. Left knee starts to drop down towards the ground. Right cheek is off the ground. Right hand holds onto the right knee. Lift the chest towards the big toe. Keep breathing. So I mentioned when we started this that you could also do this pose lying on your back. So in a supine position, you could thread the hands through this leg, pulling the leg in, and the tailbone down towards the ground. Bring both cheeks back down, and let's ease into double pigeon. So again, we're trying to stack the calves directly on top of each other, foot over knee, knee over foot. Our bodies are not symmetrical. They're not as symmetrical as we'd like to think. So this side may be the looser side, this side might be tighter. You won't know until you're in it. It's not always the same every day. Start off with the hands back behind your hips. Lift the chest. Keep this lift. Hinge at your hips. Oh my goodness. Hands could stay behind you. They could be down by your sides, in your lap, or forward. I'm not concerned with how far down you go. I'm concerned with the length of your torso as you hinge right at your hips. Remember, if you needed to, you could bring the bottom foot in, more into a half lotus. You could take the top foot onto the calf. You could sit on a bolster or block or pillow. And if need be, you could even come into cross-legged with your left leg in front. Keep lengthening. Pull the bum towards the wall behind you as the chest pulls forward. Let's add the twist. So depending on how flexible you are today, your left hand could come to the sole of the foot or the leg as you lift and twist. Remember, we don't want to twist with our hips and our bum. Keep those still. Going a little bit deeper, it's elbow to the sole of the foot or to the outside of the thigh. Lift as you twist. Get longer. Pin the left cheek down. Want to go a little bit deeper still? Left tricep to the sole of the foot or the outside of the leg as the forearms come down towards the ground. Lengthen as you twist. Come back to the center. Let's see if we loosened anything up. Keep pulling the bum back, keep pulling the chest forward. Notice if you feel this pose in slightly different places than you did on the right side. Notice if it's more intense or less intense on this side. Come on back up. Keep the legs as they are. Left knee pulls forward and down. Outer thighs pull in towards the center. Start to ease the hands back behind you. You can be up on your hands, you can come down onto your forearms. You could come down onto a block or even onto your back, but don't overarch. Keep pulling this left knee forward and down. Outer thighs pull towards each other. Ease yourself back up. Good. Unwind the legs. Give them a little wiggle if they need it. And then come into a comfortable cross-leg position. And notice how it feels kind of comfortable now. So hopefully we loosened up your hips a little bit more than they were. And you can practice this as often as you like. Don't forget, if you did this on the chair, to come back up onto the chair. Your right foot stays down, left ankle on your thigh, and forward fold. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you soon.